So, Nithyananda, welcome to today's Enlightened Parenting session. So, a very warm welcome to all the acharyas, Gurukul acharyas, parents, as well as admin who are part of this whole Gurukul family. Now, I would like to first start with the Sadguru Vandana, invoking Swamiji to the session. So, let us sit with the back straight, close our eyes. Connect with Swamiji through the third eye and let's invoke him. Nithyanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamutim Dvanjvatitam Gaganashatrisham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Savadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarihitam Satguruntam Namami. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda, welcome. Oh, Stephanie's here, so okay, just admit to her. Okay, so let me just explain what we're doing today. So the title of today's session of Enlightened Parenting, the 8th session of this year, is called How Can Parents Hold a Space or Possibility for the Child in Power Manifestation? Okay, so all of you know that Swamiji has revived the science of power manifestation, right? So, which is, we started from Sadashiva or Paramashiva. So in today's session, I first will establish what is the science of power manifestation, because I think some new parents do not have the right context. So I'm going to quickly run through that as the first part of the foundational knowledge, so that I give that to the people who know a little bit about power manifestation, but not too much. So I will give time for that. Then I'm going to introduce also what happens to your child when your child start manifesting powers. What is happening inside them? Okay, so from that context, you will understand so much benefits is happening. So many benefits are happening inside the child when a child is manifesting powers. So then the next part is, how can you as a parent help in this process? Even as a teacher, when you're facilitating in the class, how can you hold a space of possibility? Okay, these are very important, because having the knowledge is one thing, but manifesting, the reality for the kids and supporting them is what the role of the parents and the teachers, acharyas, should have. Okay. So in today's session, I actually done also the recording, because Marjorie has requested that I do the recording, because many parents from other parts of the world are not able to join due to the timing, or it's too early for them, but that's okay. So they can either watch from the Facebook Live, or they can have the recorded session later on when we do the editing. Okay. So I will request all of you who just joined to mute yourself as you join the session. So in the first part of the Paramashantini, I have made you the co-host. So because I may be talking, I will be showing slides. I may miss people who are coming in. So if there are new parents admitting, please admit them. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, because I cannot do too many things at one time.
Maybe you let simply in the co-host, because I'm used the iPhone.
Using the phone. Okay, let me just find her first to also make her the co-host. Okay, where is she? She's at the bottom. Okay, so she's also the co-host now. So she can admit parents or new people who are joining. Okay, just make sure that everyone is muted when they come in. Okay, turn on the camera, please, so that we have a face to the name. See, I always feel that when you're entering into a session like this, especially this is going to Facebook Live, have the courtesy to turn on the camera so that we are actually having a live session, interactive session. Okay, when you are not turning on your camera, it means what? You just want to receive, you don't want to interact. So don't put that as the kind of protocol here. So at least let's all have this right understanding that we are in the Zoom session and we are interacting. This is an interactive session. Okay, so welcome to those who just joined. Just a few minutes ago. So let me just introduce myself very quickly. My name is Nithyananda. People call me Madoka in short. I'm the Acharyas for Asia. I'm the leads for Asia. I take care of all the Gurukul team and also in Asia. So in today's session, I'm going to talk about how can parents create a space of possibility for their child in the power manifestation. As you already know that Swamiji has revived this science, which started from Sadashiva, and this science is going to do miraculous wonders to your children. Okay, so I'm going to first of all take all of you through, the science of power manifestation, then what it does to your kids in terms of the different aspect of the child development. Then I will come to the crux of how can you as a parent or as a teacher who's facilitating the session every weekend help to create that space of possibility to help the kids to manifest the powers. Okay? Understand that power manifestation, especially in Gurukul, is all about Vata Varana, means creating the conducive ambience, the right atmosphere for the child to manifest the powers. So the Vata Varana, the supportive Vata Varana ambience, environment is absolutely critical for a child to manifest the powers and also realize its higher possibilities. Okay? So I'm going to share some slides now so that you can go through the understanding. Then after that, we will have a Q&A session. So you can pen down all the questions, some of the questions that you have been wanting to ask, but nobody is able to answer you. So do that. We will have that Q&A session later on. Once I finish establishing all the foundational knowledge, what I want to share or impart to all of you in this session. Then after that, we will go into a more interactive session where we ask, questions and we have answers. Okay? Is that okay? Give me a thumbs up. You're all with me. Okay. So in today's session, we're on the topic of how can parents hold a space of possibility for their child in power manifestation. Okay. So first, let's talk about the orange or Shaktis of Paramashiva, the powers of Paramashiva, how that comes about. See, ever since the beginning of civilization, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma was the cradle of enlightened beings. It was where the science of enlightenment and powers of Shaktis was lived and taught as a lifestyle. It was already there in the beginning of civilization in our Vedic tradition, because the enlightened beings just play with all these powers casually, because they live very rich world, both in the inner and the outer world. So they live the richest world. They are considered when the people who practice the Sanatana Hindu Dharma were the richest, both in the inner world and outer, because they can just simply manifest anything they want with this Shakti, okay? And they just play with it casually. So you have read in various accounts of these spiritual powers in many of the ancient scriptures, whether it's Upanishad, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and other scriptures, many of these stories that you have read about the lifestyle of enlightened beings. They all manifested powers, okay? And please be very clear, they are not mere stories. They are true accounts of people, extraordinary beings who live and express these powers. They can be yogis, they can be siddhas, they can be enlightened master. They can be all those who had, expressed all these spiritual powers. So these spiritual powers are nothing supernatural. It's not supernatural. It is rather naturally super. Okay? So the people express these powers as an everyday lifestyle. It is just casually, they just decided, okay, let it rain today. We want to have some rain. And they just casually play with it, right? It's not like something that they have to work very hard, for them, it is just a casual play. So our Guru, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is reviving this whole science with all the powers and glories that was lived in those days by all the enlightened masters. So basically, he's creating a new species on planet Earth, which live with these powers, will live with this power and take them to the whole world, okay? Which means this new species is going to radiate these new possibilities, which has, been lost for many, many thousands of years. And these powers are described clearly in the Vedic scriptures, along with the science of awakening the powers. So it has actually laid down systematically in the scriptures as pramana. Okay, it's just a pramana. Now, so you may ask, who is Paramashiva? Okay, Paramashiva. Oops. Paramashiva is the ultimate, the super consciousness who has the 5 aspects in the manifest form: creation, which is generation, operation, maintenance, destruction, right? Basically, renewal, handling delusion. It means pulling you out of Maya delusion and giving liberation, moksha, liberating you from the clutches of the illusion or delusion. So Paramashiva cannot be equated to the Western idea of God, because which is limited to only the first 3 functions. Actually, Paramashiva manifests the 5 aspects. Can someone mute it? Whoever just joined, please mute it. So delusion and liberation, the last 2 functions of Paramashiva, actually forms 99.9% of the function what he does. So you can imagine the first 3 operation, generation, operation, destruction are just 0.1% of what he does. But 99.9% of what Paramashiva does is pulling you out of delusion and giving you liberation. So Paramashiva is the source of all the Vedic sciences, yogic powers, which are outlined in the Veda Agamas, the ancient scriptures, and form the Shastra Pramana for all the Shaktis. Okay, the Shaktis are outlined in this Shastra Pramana and in the Veda Agamas. Okay, so now, how the manifestation happens? Understand, all Shaktis manifest from the space of oneness, Advaita, with Paramashiva, incarnated as Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashiva. So Swamiji, who is the incarnation of Paramashiva, has again assumed the human body. Although he did say in last night, Satsang said, 2 nights ago, Satsang, he said, I have assumed a human body, but I'm not a human being. Understand? He's beyond that. So when you establish in the space of Advaita, oneness with him, you simply start manifesting the Shaktis, the powers. These powers manifest through individuals who have deep feeling connection with the divine. That means feeling connection with Paramashiva. And simply he manifests through different bodies. Okay? So the crux of power manifestation is feeling connection, being in oneness with him. All right, next. So what powers manifestation does to your child? So you understand what is power manifestation. It's a science which is gifted by Paramashiva, who's the source, to teach humanity that they can live a life with powerfulness, with richness, and live like God on planet Earth. Okay, God and goddesses on planet Earth. So when you know this knowledge, What does it do to a child when your child starts to manifest power at a very young age? So let me just give you some of these benefits. So listen with, give your authentic listening, come to the space of listening. The first thing you will see that happen to your child is it removes the lower image a child carries about himself or herself. Like the child carry that image of I'm not confident, I'm scared. All this lower image the child will start to come out of it, because in the powerful space, in the oneness with Paramashiva, the child slowly forgets about this lower image, or this lower image start to lose power over the child. Okay, the child no longer associate with this lower image of him or her, when he starts manifesting the powers. Okay, so that's the first thing. It means the child only remember the higher possibility. So next, when the child manifests power, it opens up the positivity in your kids. When they are in oneness with Paramashiva, that means new things can start manifesting in the child, which you will not even know. Only Paramashiva knows. Okay? Endless possibility, limitless possibility can open up in a child. And it also aligns them back to integrity to the being and authenticity in their peak capacity. Understand, Paramashiva says that to manifest power, all you need to do is be in integrity with him. Integrity with him means whatever the Guru says, Paramashiva says, just be integrated to him and be integrated to your being. Your being is none other than Paramashiva. Understand? Because you are him and he is you. So, and constantly bring yourself to the peak capacity by aligning yourself to authenticity. Stretch yourself to the next level of possibility. So when a child start manifesting, you simply see that they start living the spiritual principle of integrity and authenticity, and they will start taking responsibility for their life. Makes them remember their highest cosmic identity, which is Paramashiva, the cosmic identity of Paramashiva. And also it brings a super consciousness breakthrough for humanity. Can you imagine? You should know that the kids are all our future. They represent our future. If the kids are mostly in depression, you can imagine that our future is going to be very depressive. But if the more and more children start manifesting the power, manifesting all kinds of possibility, you can imagine our future is going to be bright and incredible. It is going to bring the whole consciousness to the next level. The human consciousness needs a breakthrough. We're stuck for millions of years in the human plane. Now we need to evolve to the divine plane. Okay? When more kids start manifesting the Shaktis of Paramashiva, you are literally raising the collective consciousness on planet Earth, and you start seeing more and more divine beings living on planet Earth. Can I know who is not muted? When you come in, please mute. Otherwise, I have to stop the presentation. Okay? Next. Paramashantini, am I on the right pace for your translation? Is it okay? Okay. Let me slow down a little bit more. Malala, are there... there's no French...
No French come in for now, so let's see.
Never mind. They will come maybe later. So basically, when the kids start manifesting powers, it brings so much healing to the child as well at all levels. Physical level, the physical level become healthy, emotional level become more balanced, and mental strength and clarity also start evolving. So a lot of healings happens because the child is established at a higher frequency than the lower frequency of a human being, which can, be affected by all these lower, level of existence. When they start relating the frequency of Paramashiva, they are raised to the different level. Next, you will notice that you start living you know, with God and goddesses on planet Earth. Your child is like God and goddesses on planet Earth, okay? They literally radiate the energy. And literally you feel that you're living with a god or a goddess in your life, at your home, okay? That's how I feel with my son. I feel that I'm living with a god in this house, and I cannot boss him around. I have to talk to him with a lot of intelligence. And I have to negotiate with him. I cannot force him and use my authority as a mother and force upon him, because this in front of me is an independent intelligence, you know, who is radiating the energy of Paramashiva. So I also have to raise myself to be able to relate with him. I cannot, do things unconsciously and, do it because I'm the mother, right? So that space also gets shifted, because you literally feel that you're living with a divine being, and your relationship with the divine being will also start to evolve when you realize that they are in the purest form of innocence and possibility. Okay. And also your child becomes highly creative, mature, intelligent, and joyful. Living with them is such a bliss. You feel that it brings so many nice memory and so many juicy part in your life. It adds juice into your life. That's all I can say. Literally, when I start living with my son, who is like, obviously a power manifester, and literally I just tell myself one day I will write a book about my life with him, how living with a divine being. It's like when you live with a child who is expressing enormous powers and living in the space of Paramashiva. Okay, so this is what you can imagine when the child starts manifesting powers and be kept in the high frequency, radiating that energy constantly in oneness with Paramashiva. These are all the benefits. Of course, these lists are not exhaustive. There are many, many things that would be possible for the child. But I'm just giving you a glimpse of their possibilities, okay, in terms of what power manifestation does to the kid. Okay, now next. I just want to show some of the scientific research that has been done, like Praktyasha Pramana. Your child's higher intelligence gets awakened. See, your child will start radiating very high IQ. You know that in the society, one of the measure of intelligence is IQ. That is not the only measure. There are many, many aspects in spirituality we measure intelligence. But just to give you an idea, when a child starts manifesting power easily, the IQ will raise to at least 140 level and above. Okay, so which means it's not ordinary being anymore. It's highly intelligent. In fact, one of the devotees, her name is Deborah Chance. She's actually a brain researcher and educator in the United States. And she did some tests with the Gurukul Balasan, the Gurukul kids, which is a model school. You know that, and so she took some testing with all the Gurukul students and tested on their IQs and what happens to them. And they realized that majority of the kids had IQ range above 140 and above. Okay, so that is what is happening when the kids start manifesting Shaktis, highly intelligent. And these kids exhibit the highest neurological functioning and demonstrate siddhis or Shaktis, powers, okay? And even their brain scan report show that their frontal lobes, the frontal cortex of the brain, which is, the part of the brain that exhibit higher intelligence, creativity. In fact, when they did the brain scan test, they show that the gamma ray go up to 140 hertz and above, okay, which is higher than the advanced, experienced meditative person who actually meditate a lot is even higher when they manifest powers. Understand? So, which means when they are manifesting powers, the brain go through rewiring. A lot of rewiring is happening. A lot of non-mechanical parts of the brain gets awakened. And when that happens, naturally the child's intelligence gets awakened. They're not only dependent on the left brain, which is the logic, which is what the modern education system make them only manifest the left brain thinking. But when they start manifesting powers, the whole brains get awakened, the whole brain's intelligence get active and manifesting, rewired and manifesting higher intelligence. That's why you can see when a child starts manifesting powers, they're highly creative, they're highly intelligent, which is one of the side effects of power manifestation. Okay, I want to share one example. Okay, I know Brahma Shantini is still explaining. Okay, I give her some time to explain. Okay, this is a child from Singapore. Her name is Prasadini, Nithya Prasadini. Okay, she's actually an apple baby. You know what's an apple baby? The parents wanted to have a divine child, went to Swamiji and got blessed to have a divine child. So Swamiji took an apple and just shake the apple and give it to the parents and say, eat this and you'll have a child. So the parent eat the apple, and of course 3-6 months later, I think, she was conceived. So by Swamiji's blessing, this child was conceived, okay? And she started coming to my Gurukul at the age of maybe 2.5, about 3 years old, okay? So she had been in Gurukul, now she's 8 years old. So she's been like with me for about 5 years minimum, okay, in the Gurukul. So there was a period, she was wearing glasses because of, I think her eyeballs was going through development. So she was not able to see clear. So she started wearing glasses for a few years. Then when she started to manifest powers, suddenly her eye anomalies, the eyesight, start to get healed. And one day she just realized that she cannot wear the glasses anymore. She was like, I cannot wear the glasses, I cannot see clearly. So the parents got very worried, sent her to the eye doctor, and the doctor said, her eyes became normal. She doesn't need to wear any more glasses. So that was the time she just threw the whole thing and she doesn't need to wear. So now she doesn't wear the glasses anymore. So that is the interesting manifestation. Okay, healing start happening. So next, I want to also share, okay, my son's like Kai. Okay, Kai has an IQ above 100, about 146. Absolute increase in creativity and ability to connect with higher beings and awaken his past birth biomemories. Okay, so Kai got initiated by Swamiji at the age of 6 when he first met Swamiji physically in Singapore. Then, of course, after that, I brought him to different programs, 21-day programs, and he received initiation. So there was a period he loved fast cars, sports cars. He was drawing all the different sports cars. And each sports car, it's a different manifestation of his creativity. The level of details that he was able to put in really, really amazed me. For a child that time, maybe 6, 7, 8 years, so there was a period like 3-4 years, he was very much into drawing sports car. See the level of details that you can see from the picture. It is drawn by a kid below 10 years old. Okay, the level of details exhibited by a child with with that kind of patience to draw. It's like an engineering drawing diagram of someone. So he was below 10 years old, probably 7, 8 years old at the time when he started drawing this. Okay, this sports car craze that he was going through. Okay, so basically what I want to say is that when a child starts manifesting Shaktis, the enormous creativity also starts manifesting in the kid. Okay, so next I want to share with you is that Swamiji has put together all these signs in this together called Nithyananda Jnana Padati. Okay, this science of power manifestation is called Nithyananda Jnana Padati. Basically, he has systematically reviewed all these powers in its purest form as various techniques and revelation to experience pure oneness with Paramashiva. So if you want to establish in oneness with Paramashiva, manifesting Shakti is one of the way. And he has given all the direct instruction and the techniques to do it. Okay? So as a direct experience of oneness with Paramashiva, his Shaktis, the power is powerfully manifest in initiated disciples at the different levels of human consciousness, whether it's physicality, physiology, psychology, and neurology permanently. Okay, so all that start to manifest in different level of your existence. Okay, and then the supreme authority of the powers manifestation sign established by Swamiji, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, Jagaguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashiva. So basically, by putting this in a systematic format, gives this supreme authority and authenticity of this power, this science. Okay, so because many people basically poo-poo this whole science. Oh, I don't know whether something happens, something not happen. Why, there are many people have these wrong ideas about power manifestation. Okay, so what Swamiji decided is that when he revived this, he has created all this, collected all this knowledge and put it together in this format. Okay, and 2 weeks ago, he launched this channel, YouTube channel called Kailasa's M Powers, 463 Powers, okay? And I want all of you go into this Powers channel to subscribe the channel, because in this channel, it will contain all the 463 powers. Right now, I think it's about 400 has been uploaded. More will be completed and more will be uploaded. So these 463 powers will give you a manual how to get started, how to manifest the various power at different levels. Okay, so this YouTube channel, please take note, Kailasa M Powers 463. This is a channel name, and go and subscribe and start watching the YouTube channel and start, playing with all the different powers. Okay. So the authenticity of the science is grounded on 5 pramanas. Okay. First, Shastra Pramana, which is the original, I would say instruction, the science given in the Hindu scripture called Veda Agamas by Paramashiva. Okay. So this is the original scriptures called the Shastra Pramana. Okay. The Apta Pramana is the experiences of Vedic seers, enlightened masters. When they play with this power, they give their account, their experiences. These are called Apta Pramana, means the masters has also played with it and they record their experiences. Atma Pramana means our Guru, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, share his own experience with this power. So the Guru's experience is called Atma Pramana. Sakshi Pramana means when he start initiating more and more disciples, kids into this science, thousands of them start manifesting. These people who share their experiences is called Sakshi Pramana. Okay, just by his initiation, they start manifesting. Okay, and the last one is Praktyasha Pramana, means validation of this science by the research community. Like just now, what I told you, when someone did a research on the kid's brain, the brain scan research and all that. These are when the research community decided to pick up and test the validity of this science. Then the report that comes out is called Pratyasha Pramana, validation by the scientific community. Okay, so these are the 5 levels of pramanas. It means evidence to ground the science of this power manifestation and the authenticity. And you can see that all these are available in this power manifestation. In the video that you watch, you see all the different pramanas give the strength and authenticity of these power manifestation. Okay. Next. So I'm just going to quickly run through what are the list of powers. Okay. So these are the names of the powers, and it's divided into basic, advanced, and expert level. Okay, that means higher expert level. So the powers include body scanning, remote viewing, third eye reading, clairvoyance, materialization, consciousness over matter, power of will, teleportation, levitation, power of length, power of breath, power of depth, Astra Mahashakti 1, Astra Mahashakti 2, silicon powers, Akashic reading, Savanyatwa, power over nature, special power 1, special power 2. So the total of all that gives you 463 powers. Okay, so this is a chart that I'm listing down all the different powers and different levels. Each level, one power is considered, one. Okay, so like for instance, under body scanning, just basic level, you have 5 levels. And advanced, there are 6 levels. And the expert level, there are 9 levels. Okay, so like this, you can see the possibility of the expansion is for a child or even a disciple to grow and be deeply established in the different powers. Is that okay? So with that, I'm just going to finish off with the Purna mantra. Thank you all for joining. Sit with the back straight. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Ovam Bhagavashi Nithyananda Paramashiva Paruka Panamastu Om Nithyanandam. Nithyanandam, thank you all for joining. See you again.